Assalamualaikum dear listeners, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is me Hamna Salim. I have done my MS Environmental Sciences from Pakistan's top ranked university, the Quaid-e-Azam University, Islamabad, and currently I am enrolled in abroad for PhD Environmental Sciences on a scholarship. So in this video, I am going to represent Saqib Nadeem, who is providing a platform for a broad range of HSE courses worldwide as a freelancer. Today, we will going to discuss the most recent paper of NEBOSH IGC 1 UK. Most people found it difficult to resolve IGC 1 scenario. So let's come on to the paper scenario, which was held on 2nd Feb 2022 without any further suspension. Now you can see the paper. We all know it's the scenario based exam and everyone has different analytical thinking to resolve it. So here I am going to cover the scenario. It's an easy scenario. I mean, it's to the point scenario. You don't need to take answers from out of the box like any other search engine, because all the answers were enlisted and highly relevant to the given scenario. Just make sure to highlight and note the main keywords while reading the whole scenario, because later when you will going to figure out the paper, these notes and highlighted keywords will help you a lot. So move towards scenario. The first paragraph of the scenario was based on a car showroom for an international car sales organization that is situated in an industrial state. This is the complete information about the showroom, like they are mainly selling new cars but occasionally sell used cars too. Car sales are driven by ambitious targets. If these targets are met, the sales force receives large financial bonuses. It means the company targets were directly related to the rewards and giving commissions or incentives to only those who are providing them financial or earning benefits instead of compliance with occupational health and safety. So MD is basically is the main position of the organization. MD reports to the regional, national and international boards and delegates, as well as to head of the sales. This shows basically the hierarchy of the company management. In the next paragraph, picture of the showroom is described very clearly. Let's read it out. The indoor showroom is a single story building with an open plain design. The center of the showroom displays 4 examples of the new cars for sale. Towards the back of the showroom are 3 desks where the sales team talk with the customers. To the right of the desk areas are 2 separate offices. One office is occupied by head of the sale and one of the MD. Next to these offices is a waiting area that includes drink dispensing machine and a few tables and chairs. For information displays are desks, etc., and television. Various new and used cars are parked in neat rows around most of the outside of the showroom building. Also outside near the entrance there are 12 dedicated parking bays for visiting customer, vehicles for test driving and vehicles being prepared for handover to the customers. So they are basically telling you about the workplace and the employees. Okay, so it was the introduction, and now in the next paragraph we will see the actual thing. I hope you guys are making notes or you can brainstorm with me. So the head of the sales has 10 years service at the showroom. It means he is a very competent person. Dear listeners, as I already told you that they are more focused on sales rather than the safety of the workplace and the employees. It means it's a negative indicator of the poor health and safety culture. At this stage you really need to note this point, because top management like MD, head of the sales, are just more focused on the sales. So consequently the young workers or workers weren't having much experience, they will automatically come under peer influence. This attitude shared by the leadership team and sales supervisor. The sales supervisor has 5 years service and has a strong influence on those reporting to them, including a very impressionable 17 years old apprentice. It means they are having a young worker as well. The sales team all get along very well and are giving a great deal of freedom to do what they like. What matters most is getting the job done with achieving the sales targets. It means the sales supervisor is more focused on the sale target, and the sales team has the full freedom of whatever they want to do. As a result, most of the sales team takes chances for the greater good of the team and to maximize bonuses. The sales apprentice, in an attempt to fit in, it's a very bad attitude to a fire extinguisher to wake up the sales supervisor who is sleeping during their breaks. Now it's a point to be pondered that a poor health and safety culture exists here. So guys, they have a very non-serious attitude towards health and safety. So the sales supervisor sees the comical side and put the fire extinguisher back. The remaining members of the sales team is a senior salesperson. They have worked at the showroom for a long time. They are more cautious than the other and have safety concern. One of these concerns is about the lack of attention paid during the movement of vehicles. Although they are having signboards saying do not use mobile phone while in vehicles, the senior salesperson has observed near misses due to rushing the job. It means there will be stress or there will be workload. Now we will going to notice that point as well. So now they have one individual who is responsible for occupational health and safety. He is a senior salesperson and manages the movement of all vehicles inside the organization. It should be managed properly, although they use signboards and the precautions were written on them, but still people are using mobile phones. Why? The question is that why? Because they don't have health and safety awareness and education, as well as poor attitude towards health and safety. Apprentice using their phone while driving and speeding in the car park in an attempt to show off. Show off means a poor perception and mainly personality issues, mental health illness, like we are going to discuss psychological impacts. One of the safety concern is that they think some of this is due to lack of training and supervision. Having witnessed a very short induction with apprentice, yes, there are no trainings as well, so we may take it as a negative indicator. Show off, rushing the job are also negative indicators of health and safety culture on the site. So there have been other similar events in the past, some involving minor injuries, but there is no record of these near misses or injuries. So they ignored all the injuries with no record, which means they have no reporting system, not at all. So I hope you are going to notice that point as well. In the last 12 years, only one fire related incident has been recorded. So here we can find plus point that they have recorded their fire related incidents. This was a false alarm where one of the numerous fire call points break the glass, press here. So that is exactly what the child did. It means there is no security. The children come easily in the workplace and call points were under their access, so there was no security. So you have to notice that point as well. So exactly the child did. The sales supervisor had assumed the role of fire marshal. Now there is no fire marshal was hired, so they have given this extra responsibility to the sales supervisor who is doing the activity as well. And although untrained escorted visitors and workers to assigned assembly point nominated in the written emergency procedure. They are having a written emergency procedure. It's a very good. So you are going to notice that point as well. Not even the workers really knew what they were doing. It means they are not trained, but this is a negative point for fire safety as well. As such events do not happen very often and no one can remember even practicing the emergency procedure. The senior sales person talks in confidence to the sales supervisor about these safety concerns. Surprisingly, the sales supervisor replied that management feels that overall fire risk is low and there is no need for frequent fire drills. The senior salesperson is confused and highlights that petrol vehicles is the in the showroom and emphasizes the compliance obligation to inform, check, learn, and improve through such drills. So, as we all know, petrol is already highly flammable, so we have to emphasize on compliance obligation, or also there is some legal compliance on us to do that drill. So there must be some checklist and risk assessment reports to improve such drills. They finish the conversation by pointing out that all fire action notices around the building are not just there for the benefit of the visitor but help to protect people and satisfy insurers too. They think that why we have those system and why we need the fire system, why we should have fire alarms and fire extinguisher, because they assume that we don't have any risk. So despite this personal concern, the senior sales person still feels a lot of pressure because he is not fitting the same like as that young apprentice. All the people were having a negative mindset about the health and safety culture, and this is the only individual who is taking care about safety to fit in with the rest of the group and not worry about the unsafe working has become common practice now. The MD is somewhat detached from the day-to-day practical operations because of the attendance at various off-site exhibition, national and international conferences and frequent online meetings. So here MD is busy as his usual meeting, and we have already noticed that there is no reporting system exists in the workplace. So the absence of top management is also a negative indicator. So he is not actively connected to the organization. As a result, they delegates the daily running of showrooms, so the sales team and any health and safety responsibilities to head of the sales. However, the head of the sales has not had any specific health and safety trainings to fulfill his role. However, the head of the staff had not had any health and safety trainings as well, and any other individual who is holding the position without any piece of trainings. Please, now you guys need to note that point as well. Though the senior salesperson has bravely raised the fire evacuation testing safety issues with the MD in the past, the MD sees no reason to challenge unsafe behaviors and interfere with the successful team if it is meeting the sales targets. So it means poor management and lack of leadership. There is no there is some rationalism as well. I'm hoping that you guys are noticing all the highlighted points. However, they do accept that there have been some lucky escapes from incidents that could have been more serious, but nothing bad has happened so far. So why worry? Why worry? The senior sales person respectfully suggested a different view, like still nothing happened, but in future it could be harmful or catastrophic. And he told them profits and bonuses can wiped out easily by the large cost associated with even one workplace accident. Senior sales person view is that it's just a matter of time before a serious accident happened. So that's the same day in the late afternoon, the sales supervisor asked the apprentice to move a car from the car park to a hard standing location right in the front of the entrance, ready for the customer collection. So the apprentice locates the car. As he moved the car to the required location, he answered a call on their mobile phone and stopped the car in front of the showroom while simultaneously. Here you just can say raise the mobile phone with one hand and exiting the vehicle. Why he was exiting the vehicles? He was like having the seat belt. So seat belt gets stretched and because of the stretching he just fell, and he was like, oh, nothing happens. The apprentice hastily gets up and looks around in embarrassment to see if anyone is looking, and act as if nothing has happened. Actually it was near miss, but it could be accident. So, however, the sales supervisor witnessed the seemingly harmless looking incident. Later, the two of them have a conversation in the rest area about incident. The sales supervisor promised to spare the apprentice embarrassment by saying it is a matter for you and you alone, like nothing happened as long as you don't say a word to anyone else, neither will I. So this attitude shows you a peer group pressure, and they are having lack of safety trainings and poor ethics. This did not stop here. That the following day the apprentice arrives at work with plaster cast on their wrist. The wrist had swollen and become tender and painful. They had gone hospital and had an x-ray. He is having fracture that confirmed a small fracture of the wrist. The plaster cast allow limited movement of the fingers. The sales supervisor talked to the apprentice and advises them to say that he fell off a bike at home should anyone ask. He actually telling you to tell a lie or hiding the accident. So it's another peer group pressure. So I hope you guys are noticing all the points greatly. So they are put on light duties until further notice. The senior salesperson is suspicious and later takes the apprentice aside and informs them about the implication of the accident at work, and tells them what will be going to happen if the accident happened at the site. So this is a very concise and to the point, no confusion scenario basically I found here. So you may easily make your notes. Now let's come towards the question, and then we will discuss the answer. So guys, here are the questions. Task basically, task 1, the influence peers. Comment on the influence of the peers on health and safety at the car showroom. So you should support your answer where applicable using relevant information from the scenario. So first question answer is that the impact of health and safety culture is inextricably linked to peer group interaction, influence, hierarchy and norms. In the base case under consideration, a hostile and careless attitude towards workplace health and safety culture is observed. The employer is empathetical that health and safety culture is irrelevant because it is unrelated to the ambitious sales profit. So this codes like the risky materialistic approach, which has a significant negative impact on the entire organization. Let's talk about the MD. Like we already discussed that MD was irresponsible person. Example, demonstrate a mutinous interest in health and safety that is separated from the operational norms. Similarly, the head of the sales conviction is extremely inaccessible when it comes to deploying health and safety. So this has damaging impact on the subordinates and the leadership team as well, the sales supervisors too. As stated in the base scenario, the managing director coordinates only with the head of the sale, strengthening his vocational influence on the experienced working apprentice, which indirectly promote his neglectful concern for his health and safety culture that seeps down from the sales supervisor to the leadership team and eventually to the common labor. So, employee, for example, were engaged in rash driving in the parking lot while on the phone. He was talking on the phone, superficially seeking satisfaction and happiness in the adventure while completely ignoring the health and safety regulation opted in the workplace. Within the same vicinity, a sales supervisor dismissed safety concerns by claiming that there is no need for safety training or drills because the fire risk is low, which is horrible. The more rushing the job because of the sales margin illustrate the influence of the chain of command in completing the task at expense of the health and safety. For example, a senior sales person individual effort in the context of health and safety concern is observed here in the scenario, but it is dominated by negative lobby pressure or negative influence of the seniors. So eliminating the complex insignificance of fitting into the organization culture. One of the adverse influence is seen during a trip incident by a layman, which was observed by the sales supervisor, who instead of reporting the incident ignored the whole scenario or incident concerned like he didn't see anything. It implies that the administration concern for health and safety is merely just merely a formality. This is based on the impact of hierarchy on the overall culture of the overall culture of the company, and all people are under peer group influence in the scenario. So this is the answer for question 1. So now we will discuss the task 2 and the portion 1. What are the positive points about fire health and safety arrangements at the car showroom? So constructing a point regarding the safety arrangement at the car showroom were like fire extinguisher are present in the showroom premises. Salesperson are more cautious about the showroom safety and are concerned about their safety individually. The salesperson seems to be very concerned with the safety arrangement and keeps tracks of all work activities in the showroom. As well, to prevent near misses and accidents, safety signs were assigned there. Use of safety signs in the parking lot only a partial solution to the requirement for employees and guests to avoid near misses and accident. In times of emergency, they are having marching points for the employees. An emergency response plan, which is called ERP, is also obtainable in the showroom premises zone. A fire alarm system was also there in the area of our premises of the fire detection. So what about the task 2 and the point B? What are the negative points about the fire safety arrangements at the car showroom? So no doubt there was unfriendly safety culture, safety budget issues. There is no safety budget for the sake of safety. Officials were hesitant to spend money on health and safety trainings. Senior management does not provide clear direction or leadership. The other one is using a fire extinguisher in an employed manner. Lack of fire safety drills and trainings, and top management bleak role. Basically, top management was adamant about not improving the culture, safety culture measures that were highlighted by salesperson regarding the fire system, while concentrating on the ambitious sale targets and the rewards. Ultimately, there is no knowledge of fire evacuation plan, the workplace. There is no fire hydrant system. There are no sign of smoke detectors or alarming system in the showroom. Absence of permit proceedings, and local concerns like the showroom did not meet the minimum health and safety requirements for fire hazard. Allocation of the trained staff. A trained person must be assigned to evacuate to carry out the response plan in a reliable manner, as opposed to the scenario where an untrained individual, as we already know, is appointed at the assembly point. So why is it important to practice emergency procedures? Portion B, point B, C, sorry. So why it is important to practice emergency procedures? It's important because it teaches employees how to respond to emergencies without exacerbating the problem. If you follow the safety method, workers' lives will be saved. Using the ERP system, we can protect the environment and the general population. Life safety is always priority in any emergency situation. The second priority is stabilize the situation. So a small fire can be extinguished by appropriately trained personnel using fire extinguisher. So now we will discuss the task 3. At point A, comment on the sales supervisor approach to reporting the apprentice accident. So how should the apprentice accident be reported by the employer? So first we will discuss the point A. As a result of the scenario, the sales supervisor observed the apprentice slip and trip incident. He overlooks the event and depicts the prompt negligence instead of compiling the incident report due to impudence, need of health and safety mindset. So, for example, sales supervisor was only joking when he said that the risk of the fire was very limited aside from the movement of the gasoline powered vehicles, though it was not possible, as we all know. It should have been handled with appropriate safety precautions, as well as the worker must face injury, his ability to perform the job. This resulted in the workers' downtime, a major health injury, and healthcare expenses. As well as this, he decided to commit malpractice by misadvising the subordinate to convey a false risk of the injuries. So the task 3B, how should the apprentice accident be reported by the employer? Recording and notification of occupational accident and diseases 1996 reporting, accident and dangerous occurrence regulation. Employer should have an accident recording, investigating and reporting procedure. Some of the ways in which the employer should report the apprentice accident within 24 hours as the victim is injured. So we can report via online website reporting form, law enforcement authorities, insurance agencies, regulatory authority. A written report email can be used to report the accident to concerned authority, through phone call hours to external authorities. So to victim family and caretaker through phone calls or by emails, to workers through weekly meetings, toolbox talk, to stakeholders through email management meetings, through company website, and so on. So let's move towards the task 4, the legal reason for health and safety management. So what are the legal reasons why health and safety should be managed at the car showroom? So health and safety management at the workshop is required by the law of the following reason. Employee and employees both have legal obligation when it comes to dealing with health and safety issues. To protect others from the risk of possible future incident, accidents and injuries. Both the employer and employee must have reasonable precautions. Compliance with national laws and international standards like ISO standards are legal reasons. It also establish a foundation. It helps to establish boundaries as well as governing the rule for conducting businesses at the workplace. In the Article 16 of ILO, Occupational Health and Safety Convention, employer have outlined some basic general legal obligation towards their employees. There are some legal causes for employers to manage risk according to the scenario. An international level car showroom employs many people. The organization is legally concerned with the health and safety of its employees as well as the visitor. Organization must take serious steps to maintain a safe workplace for employees and the visitor according to international bodies such as ILO and ISO. So if a person, whether an inside or outside employee, is a serious injured or die because of unsafe workplace, the company is considered a direct participant in the crime and will face a slew of penalties. Organizations are required by law provide training and information about the workplace and its hazard, which could serve as the foundation for a major accidents. So Let's move towards task 5. According to ILO clauses, there are signs indicating the showroom prohibiting the use of mobile phones while driving the parking lot, test drive area, but the apprentice was breaking the law of the organization was clearly communicated in the form of signs according to the given scenario. Clause A. According to the scenario, the sales supervisor did not inform top management about the apprentice's accident. Here we can write this answer from the ILO clause C. The apprentice did not receive proper training in safe driving, which should have been offered by skilled individual. Clause D. So you may take answer from the ILO clause D. According to the situation, when a young apprentice fell from a car while listening a phone call on his phone, he did not immediately report to the incident to his supervisor. According to the clause F. So he had not responsibility to immediately notify upper management about any near miss or incident. Here we will discuss the question 6, which is about the near misses. And near miss reporting adds value to the organization. If we want to avoid accident, we must concentrate on investigating near misses. The investigation finds from prior near misses will be useful in various ways, like it can assist to determining the incident immediate and root cause of the incident. So it will add in a recording of near misses information, in fact, to improve control measures. So we can take control measures after recording the incident. So the investigation will also add in updating and review of the risk assessment by addressing the flaws and inadequacies. So statistics on near misses can be used to spot trends and pattern in such incidents that happen in the workplace, as well as to identify gaps in the car showroom. So task 7 about health and safety culture. Based on the given scenario, health and safety culture of the showroom was like the showroom management primary goals was to increase the car sales at expense of the health and safety, resulting in the poor health and safety culture indicator. High risk activities like most sales people take risk for the good of the company and to maximize profit and bonuses. Negligence of the safety attitude and negative safety reputation and inadequate supervision, freedom to employees and health and safety intervention, carelessness to the managing director and carelessness of the top management, and insufficient like safety induction trainings, fire extinguisher practices, emergency preparedness, and mobile phone usage while car driving, rash driving, inadequate emergency operation, no emergency drills was used, and working in a violent manner, absence of lesson learning, and many other we already noticed in the scenario. So now we will discuss the last question and health, which is about the health and safety management role and responsibilities. As a given scenario, effectiveness of responsibilities in relative to health and safety management in the car showroom are mentioned. The organization has not provided a written description indicating a lack of commitment to health and safety. The organization provide a very limited supervision, instruction and training, as the showroom the store manager doesn't really keep written record of worker training. There was no concrete plan for reporting accident in the showroom. So and there was no adequate responsible person of health and safety issues, because according to the scenario, head of the sale was given to the health and safety responsibilities. The showroom's MD on the other hand was unconcerned about the health and safety of the employees. The CEO always has a superlative authority and responsibility in terms of showrooms workers' health and safety. The shift manager had planned to SOP, but it had not been implemented on the workers were unable to understand the SOPs of the responsible drivers in the showroom. Upper management and sales groups had a negative influence on peer pressure in the organization because they prioritize sales over workers' health and safety. So there was no balance between sales profitability and employee safety. A negative indicator negative are poor safety, health and safety culture, in which the MD and sales supervisor only concern was to concentrate on many sales. The organization showed a lack of commitment to health and safety. I hope so, listeners, you like the video, and if you like the video, please don't forget to subscribe our channel. So if you have any query about IGC 1 scenario, NEBOSH exam and registration of NEBOSH and any other health and safety courses, so you may contact without any hesitation on these numbers. So dear listeners, it's time to go back. So see you till the next video. Allah Hafiz. Fi Amanillah.